Welcome back again. So what we're going to do now is we've obviously got to a position of where we've got the main personal survival budget expenditure for the household, and we've got the main survival budget income for the household, and we've broken the income down into net, gross, and to keep an eye on a 12 months figure. The key column on the previous recording was the income net. That is the key column. So just a reminder, we have got a gap there. However, what we haven't got done is what I'm classing as additional spend. Now, again, this is subjective. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with I'm going to come to work travel. I'm going to start with birthdays and Christmas. Not everybody's got children, so I'm going to split it between children and adults, birthday, and then Christmas. I'm just putting sort of some approximate figures in. It's no kind of indication of what I spend or don't spend. It's just to put some figures in there, and then I'm going to do a total of that in terms of uh, the expenditure. Because it's quite subject. I'm not, and it's specific times of the year. It's more difficult to, unlike the other expenditure where you can sort of put it against specific monthly time periods. Some people don't get any Christmas presents. Some people start their Christmas shopping in September. Some start it on the 24th of December, I believe. I used to do that, but I don't do that anymore. So yeah, it's a bit more difficult to put something more kind of formalic with a formula in there. But what I'm going to do is I will also put a sort of a formula in here, which is those two added together, just to keep an eye on that. Now for travel, work travel is a bit more tricky because we go from people who work from home pretty much all the time to people who work at a site and need to travel there 5, 6 days a week. And then we've got everybody else in between who's now we class as hybrid. Now, so the hybrid ones, it's a bit more difficult to say that. Obviously, again, like some of the other stuff, it's subjective in terms of the type of transport people will use and will not use. So it's a very difficult for me to say that there's an sort of specific figure there. But I'm just going to put in, okay, so what do we expect over the next 12 months? Because of course, your job might change, your role might change, your work and pattern might change. So I'm going to put £1,000 in there, which might seem low. For some, it might seem very high. So yeah, and then I'm just going to put the thousand in there again. This is the one that I'm going to reduce specifically with in terms of the breakdown. In fact, actually, it's in the wrong column, so I'm just put 1,000 in there, and we're going to add, but actually, we're going to put 1,800 in there. And the one we'll regularly reduce is these two here. One thing I've noticed, it's not added those up there. So, Control copy, Control V. That's not changing it. What was that? D26. Oh, it's because I've not got a figure in there, which would help. Control copy, Control V. So what we've got now is, just to recap that, we've put in what I would call additional spend. This isn't linked to you having to survive. Again, it could be subject. So I've put in a breakdown of birthday and Christmas and figures for children, adults, and other. If you want to put just one figure in terms of total, that's absolutely fine. If you haven't got children, you're just going to put adults or other. So that's how much over the year. Remember, this is a 12 months, and then that comes back to a total figure in there, which is what I'm going to change. In fact, actually, what I'll do is I'll probably change these figures here. So when somebody's birthday changes, I'll put 150 in here. 150 in here, and that's going to change the figures here. So actually, for the birthdays and Xmas, I'm going to actually change the individual figures under children, adults, and other, which then adjust that similar to these figures here that get adjusted downwards. Because remember, this column F is your ongoing for the time period between April and March. So once you start spending on certain things, that figure, that column there, this is the one you want to remain constant. You just want to keep on an eye on what the total figure is for the year, similar to the income in terms of That's why we've got a net in here as well, so you know what the total for the year is, but this is the one you're going to reduce. So we'll go over that a bit at the very end in terms of a recap on how you actually manage this spreadsheet as you start to spend money or as money starts coming in. And then in terms of the travel, I think what I'll just do is I'm just going to decrease that figure there. So for birthdays and Christmas, we adjust these figures here, and that adjusts that, and then for travel, we'll adjust that one there. But that gives now a total sort of outgoings of 38,355 for the year, compared to income of 43,339. So obviously that's very tight, but of course most family budgets are very tight at the moment. I suppose the positive way of looking at it is if you've been honest in terms of everything you're spending, if that happens, then you're going to have at least a little bit of room for maneuver. Not a lot, but you need that in terms of, if you're in fixed deals, when those fixed deals change. I mean, at some point, maybe things will start coming down in price. Um, you might spend more time working from home. So these are going to be just like, I mean, in business, the term that they would use is break even. That's very close to that. Um, so you might get a new job, you might hopefully get a pay rise. Whether that pay rise keeps pace with inflation and what costs go up, but I suppose overall, at least there is a positive there.